So now we will move on to the next topic, that is nulls in SQL queries. So we have is and is not variables, or we can call it as the clause, in order to compare the null values. Okay, so SQL uses is or is not to compare the null values that are present in our table. So the question is, retrieve the names of all employees who do not have supervisors. Who do not have supervisors means, if super SSN of that particular employee tuple contains null, super SSN is null means that employee doesn't have supervisor, right? So select F name, L name from employee. Which names will be selected? Where super SSN, when super SSN is null, that name will be displayed. So for that reason we will use is or is not function. Okay, so this is the use of is and is not. Suppose if you want not null, retrieve the names of employees who have supervisors, means we can write super SSN is not null. Okay, so if you check, select star from EMP. So John doesn't have supervisor, Franklin doesn't have supervisor. We need the employees who doesn't have supervisors, means John and Franklin name should be displayed. So if I write select F name from employee where super SSN is null. Super SSN is null means John and Franklin name should be displayed. Same thing we can do it for not null. Not null means they have supervisors, their names will be displayed. So in this way we can make use of is operator and is not operator for this particular operation. Next we will move on to the other topic, that is grouping. So grouping means it is a operation in which we will group the similar values in an attribute. In many cases, if you want to apply the aggregate function to subgroups, like in department research, how many employees are working, means group by that research department number, then we will count. Then if you go for the headquarters department, we will group the similar values and then count how many employees are there in that. In that case, if you want to group the similar values, you can go for that group by clause in the select command. See, grouping, suppose consider this is the question. For each department, retrieve the department number, the number of employees in the department and their average salary. So in each department we should check. So select from employee, group by department number. Group by department number means we have 1, 4, 5, right? These are the department numbers. 1 will be grouped together and it will be counted. 4 will be grouped together and it will be counted. 5 will be grouped together and then it will be counted. And for each department, for department 1, some 4 employees are working and they are asking for average salary of all those. That for group by attribute we can apply this aggregate functions also. So similarly for group 4, group 4 no employees are working, hence it will be 0. Group 5, 2 employees are working. So in that way we can able to group the similar values into the finding the number of employees in that particular department. So for group by, our question is retrieve the department number and number of employees present in that particular department and average salary. So what we will do, select, first I will show you how actually it will be done. Select star from employee. If you check this, group by department number, if you check, similar values will be grouped. 5 will be grouped and it will count 1, 2. All ones are grouped and it will be counted 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So like that similar values will be grouped, and for that subgroup only we will apply these aggregate functions. Okay, select department number, because always the grouping attribute should be specified. Okay, D number, and what we want the number of employees, means count the rows, count star, comma, and average salary of that subgroup in which we are taking from employee, right? So here we have to group by clause, group by what? Group by department number. Okay, so what we are doing from employee, we are grouping similar values. So first all fives will be grouped. Now that 5 is one subgroup. In that it will take the department number 5. Count is 1 and 2. 2 will be printed. Average salary means this one's 30,000 and this one's 50,000. Average salary will be calculated for department 1. Sorry, for department 5. Next subgroup is 1. All ones are grouped together and that will be counted. Count star means number of rows it will count, that is 5. So for department number 1, number of employees is 5 and average salary is all these 5 average will be taken and it will be printed. So in this way for department number 1 it will count 5 and this is the average salary. For department number 5 it will count all the rows and this is the average salary. Okay, so in this way we can group the similar values by using the group by clause.